Now, what happened last week at the Emerald Mantis Monastery?
We told you.
No, tell me again. With Tommy is here.
It was the plot line of Kung Fu Hustle.
Why
basically.
do Connor? I swear to God, one of these days you gotta get earphones. I can hear myself echoing.
True, he does.
Who remembers what happened last week?
Let's see.
Tommy,
but
it's up
in
to
the
you.
Monastery, I had to talk to the masters, and later on I had to convince M to talk to them to find out who in the monastery is evil.
Better.
Karakwa talked to a young kid peeling potatoes or some shit.
It's true. There was scenes.
Max. Sorry. What's his character's name again?
Venta.
Venta.
Venta Smoke.
Talked to the blacksmith and Nipsey about making a new leg, and I believe it was.
Excuse me,
Why am I just
I was muted.
blanking
I
Henry and
did that.
Alakul? Did you get? Oh, sorry, you did that.
I did that. Max was like, "Yes, I would love a new
Oh no,
leg,"
that's
but
right.
I went and made him
Henry
get
and
a new leg.
Venta went up to the pond.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it. They went up to the pond. Henley was trying to help cure Venta's sickness.
What really happened was everyone woke up in their beds and it was all a dream.
Thank
Oh,
God.
and of course, Aruna there,
When
lead
he's
actress
used
from
by her
Monk
stepbrother.
3.
I remember we found out M's name is Michelle, and Amaris does not like her, or him, or whatever M is.
This is
'cause
Lieutenant
they're a
Dan Porter.
changeling.
Well, M is a changeling. Michelle, is probably just a cover name.
Michelle's my
Yeah.
new wife anyway.
And apparently they killed someone at the
Are
monastery.
they wearing yellow sneakers?
Why call it?
This is Venta's new token.
I like it.
Fucking Christ.
Titanium, just like they use on the space shuttle.
I just wanted to mention that
Lieutenant
Battlefield
Dan?
2042 trailer that it played. It had a character looking at a billboard that said that the 2042 MVP was Tom Brady,
God, kill
and he
me.
was just like 90 years old in the poster.
Great.
All right, indeed, there was some stuff that happened. Reed returning
happened,
back
shit
to his
went to shit.
monastery. Talking to Master Amaris and Master Fenris, and Henley. Talked to Venta
That
at
lady.
the fucking Serene Pond,
right.
and there was the basically member of the healing order of monks,
They took
the ruby serpents or something. That had come to this monastery, and only finding out from her that the the onyx serpents, the long death monks, had actually mostly wiped out her monastery opportunistically after many of them had fled before the oncoming tide of the King of Black Everfrost, and so they'd been largely wiped out, and she had come to talk to Master Amaris or Grandmaster Amaris and Master Fenris about this, because they had sent some messages to them. So that happened, which is, a thing.
Here comes Cam Newton.
Lieutenant Venta Dan is gonna have some new legs, basically, after having met a very talented, if somewhat bored, blacksmith, enlisting the aid of Nipsey to make a suitable prosthetic, much as she did work helping with Aruna's arm. It will cost a little bit of money, but well worth it, as it will be a completely and fully functional prosthetic, even better than before, because it's made of metal, so everything is better when it's made of metal. An animal can bite it and he won't even know it.
Yeah, you can cast heat metal on it
It's
when they
true.
least expect it.
Or
Man, Max has 2 prosthetics now.
joke's on you, he can cast. You can cast meat metal and it just
can-
becomes a leg.
Can I?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's a shame I'm only gonna cast heat metal on it and torture Max.
You make him flip a coin, and whatever it is, if it's heads, you cast heat metal. If it's tails, you cast meat metal.
No, or you can cast heat metal and just fuck it up.
You can cast heat metals and make both of his prosthetics burn.
Heat metal and just start smashing the hell out of it.
There you go.
Ito went for a walk with Adelaide, and they were walking around town, and Adelaide was not being super particularly nice. Often sort of remarking on how the lack of importance, really, of her need to really give a damn about the average ruling person. But she really doesn't matter in her opinion. People will get by and it's fine, and she can go home. She's fine with that. That'd be good. But in the end, they were whatever. She even was gonna make a point about how no matter what they do, it's not really gonna affect the lives of some random person. And then they went and knocked on a door, and they were attacked by a bunch of fucking evil monks that were hiding inside.
Surprise ninja.
Surprise ninjas.
Worst.
As opposed to the opposite?
They wouldn't be very good ninjas if it wasn't a surprise. But about that same time, there was some attacks by the Onyx Serpent monks, and there was a fight, and surprisingly enough, during the fight, Adelaide cast what appeared to be a spell on her on a weapon that she managed to sleight of hand off one of the ninjas. After they had basically grappled her, they dragged her into a house, and Ito was in there fighting them, and she used sleight of hand to pull a dagger off one of their belts and basically cast searing metal on it, much to her surprise.
You mean Searing Smite?
Mm-hmm. Searing Smite. I mean, it could be fucking whatever. But the point was, something channeled through her.
Colin, you didn't happen to get pre-drunk for this, did you?
No.
Okay.
It just
Colin's regular is pre-drunk.
It wasn't an actual like specific spell that she cast. She seemed a bit confused by it. The rest of many of the Onyx Serpent monks were like captured, save for a couple that were killed and one that was completely drained of all its blood. And that's sort of where it left off.
I'm gonna
Eaten
nickname
like a
him.
Twizzler straw.
No, I'm gonna nickname him Capri Sun, and I'm gonna use him as a rug.
Mm.
That doesn't seem. How well do you know about taxidermy and leatherworking?
I think he's just gonna lay him out.
I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna be a good rug for very long.
So those toys where you put your cock in the dildo and use that dildo as an extendo dildo?
You mean like a cock sheath?
Thank you. I couldn't think of what it was called. Thank you, experts, for weighing
right.
in.
Time to start streaming.
Sure thing, Gary.
I know they were. Didn't know what they were called.
Connor's very familiar with them, don't worry.
How many do you own, Connor?
3.
One.
What?
Look, he keeps. The thing about Connor is you gotta realize he has a wide assortment of chastity cages that he puts around his balls and dick.
Wonderful.
Wait.
Balls.
Hold on.
In many different.
Oh,
You
How do you
got
keep your balls chast?
he's
The
got
cage-
one
no,
for
the
weddings and
cage-
funerals.
The cage goes like around your balls to hold the cage on. That's how they fucking work.
But Colin's implying that you have one specifically for just your balls.
I mean, that's something that I'm not aware of. So,
The way it works is he has one that's held on. It's got a cage around his balls, and it runs around with a leather strap around his waist. And it actually doesn't have a buckle. Instead, it has to be hooked in with a butt plug from behind. It has to be shoved up the ass to secure it. That's the way.
That's
his
just a lot of
chastity
work.
cages work.
That's a lot of work.
those are real expensive.
You really
Well,
don't want one
Connor,
of
Connor
one
doesn't
of those to get
skip
locked up on you.
on expenses when it comes to his chastity cages.
It's true.
Apparently not.
I mean, I would
Yeah, I
I would not want a low quality object.
Yeah, I was
around
gonna
my
say you
ball.
gotta buy quality. If you know everybody's first cage is from Wish and it just doesn't end well.
What if it's from Alibaba?
It's from
Answer my-
Is that
Alibaba.
better or worse?
Can you answer my question though? If you've got one for like holidays and like for weddings and funerals.
Oh yeah, no, you have your business casual cage. You have your business formal cage.
Oh, what's that thing that Colin linked that he found on Etsy, like the cock puppets?
Yeah,
Cock
exactly.
couture.
Oh shit! I forgot about cock.
You
I-
can get a
Oh,
Batman
yeah.
and then a
Are we,
Robin.
Colin, are we sponsored by Cock Couture now?
Sponsored by Cock Couture. If you
You know
ever
what's funny? I was
listen to
actually
this,
talking about that at work the other
That
day.
was a thing.
Who are you talking about that with work with, Beaver?
for the low
Uh,
price of like $9.99, you can make your dick look like Jonathan Frakes from Star Trek.
That
Is that
would
something
be
that anyone wants?
fantastic.
Well, that
I
depends.
forgot
Are
about
you?
cock couture.
It depends on if you're making it look like William Riker or Thomas Riker. So,
I'd rather make it look like William Riker.
what?
What?
I heard you say something about William Riker.
Yeah, I'd rather make it look like Wesley,
Oh no.
so that when they tell me to shut up, it makes more sense.
The funny
It's
part.
like cosplay for your cock.
The funny part about dressing up your dick as either William Riker or Thomas Riker is they're the same costume, except if you dress it up as Thomas Riker, you can peel the sideburns off dramatically.
Oh,
It's a joke. That's a joke about Deep Space Nine.
that's fair.
Deep Space 69.
No.
Can I get a Cock Couture costume that
Good.
makes me look like Lieutenant Worf?
All right. Well, technically,
With the
yeah,
ridges.
you can get Ridged for. Did I ever tell you
What?
about my musical called Ridged for His Pleasure?
I've heard of this musical. These are the things that Colin talked about while he was at Burger King.
All right. What would y'all? That's basically what
What is
happened.
this commercial?
That's basically
That's
what
the new
happened.
Facebook commercial.
That was the big important thing. I think you mean meta. So there's a difference now.
Wait, it's pronounced meta. It's not meta.
Why would it be Mita?
I was being a shit.
No, you're not. You're
Connor,
just dumb.
you're always a shit.
Because he wants to meet a person anonymously on there.
This poor cow.
It's
You
basically
deserve this.
it's basically gonna be Tinder.
Why is John Cena here?
All right.
What are
point
commercials?
is- Shut up.
Ding, ching,
Shut
ling.
up. Shut up. The point is that's basically what happened. It was a fight. It was Reed did indeed convince M to go and meet with Master Omeris and Master Fenris, learning that during M's time here, he had been responsible for the death of another monk during his escape after he had been discovered by Grandmaster Omeris, and he was very worried about meeting him again, knowing that Omeris might very well kill him where he stood, even though Omeris is a very jovial fella. You know, he takes the death of his, acolytes and his initiates very seriously. And Omeris was not very happy to see him, but was willing to give him a chance to atone for what he did by helping them. And essentially that's sort of what he did. He told him what he knew. Told him that there were probably more monks than he knew that were underneath the thrall of this basically cult who's headed by a ancient black dragon. And told them also about the time he had spent with them, specifically where they are, located sort of to the south in the swamplands of Stahlreich. Conveniently enough, also the native area of Karakwa and his family and his wildfire druid monks.
Never got that guy's name.
The what?
I never got that guy's name.
M?
Was that no the shifty looking guy?
Oh, the guy? Yeah. I forgot. He doesn't matter now because you ended up killing him.
Oh, we did.
He was one of the monks that transformed up in this top part.
Oh,
I'm sure it's nothing a little mending can't fix. No bear.
He ended up being one of the monks killed up here. Whenever you were fighting
Sucks.
up here.
Fucking got him.
But the you also spoke a bit about the nature of good and evil and why the monks fight despite because there is a obviously Reed wondering if they've infiltrated this many monasteries, even if you go and you chop off the head and you deal with this monastery and the Grand Master of the monastery itself, there's still going to be monks around. They're going to try to rebuild, but that is the nature of evil. It's always going to be around. You'll never get rid of it. All you can do is do as much good as you can do. Currently, these monks are causing a obvious existential crisis for all of the monk orders, having almost completely wiped one of them out, launched a surprise attack on this one that almost managed to capture and possibly kill the Holy Emperor. And so he wants something done about it. That is where you find yourselves realistically having to mull that over. It is dark, the monastery. There are very few lights in the monastery at night, little more than candles. Very rarely lit, as monks tend to go to bed quite early. They don't really bother with this whole nonsense of staying up late and partying. There's problems with the younger monks every now and then doing something like that, but for the most part, they go to bed early, wake up at sun's first light, and they start training. I mean, that's what it's like to be a monk, probably, maybe. I've never been one. Is that what monks do, Lou?
I mean, I wouldn't really know either. I assume so.
What was that, Lou? We can't hear you.
What? I heard him.
It's just Connor trying to be a dick again.
Oh, that's
every day of his life.
Yeah.
Indeed, the monastery itself is quite silent, save for the sound of the heavy hammer falls upon metal of the forge as you hear Nipsey and the blacksmith working well into the night. You can see monks are stationed outside the mess hall where the captured Onyx Serpent monks are being held. Grandmaster Emeritus and Master Fenris have retired to the meeting chamber to discuss matters and what to do with these monks. How exactly to deal with them. They seem hesitant to outright execute them, and yet also hesitant to even allow them to live at all. You're able to retire and get a short rest after the fights. Some people got beat up a little bit. People turned out okay. I mean, Bruce got beat up pretty badly. Everybody else was okay.
Yeah, I got taken in half.
Nothing that a few low-level spells can't fix.
True.
Or a long rest.
I mean, I'm just gonna use my hit dice.
No. You're not allowed, Beaver.
No.
You have to earn your hit dice.
Reed, you know that tomorrow is the first taping of America's Got Talent, and the monastery's planning to go there and show off what they've got. So all the monks are asleep, the routine passing through their dreams, rotely ingrained in every movement as you see the occasional one twitch as they dance excitedly, knowing that tomorrow is their big break. That's when they become the leaders on America's Got Talent that they know they're meant to be. That's now canon. That's what's happening.
I'm just gonna ask Ken, are you sure you're not already drunk, Colin?
No. I'm waiting to see what y'all are gonna do in regards to the monks.
Well, I feel
Since I
like my
wasn't-
answer was pretty evident.
Since I wasn't here, are we worried there's more monks here, or did we kind of soundly round up?
You're
the bunch?
always worried. You know now to always be worried that there's more monks.
Okay, that's
Could be anywhere.
They could
That-
be anywhere. That being said, it was a fair. There's not a lot of people that live in this around this monastery area. Like I said, there's the monks in the monastery. Then there's the people that live outside, which is no more than like it's less than 100 people that live outside the monastery.
I would like to go back to the house that Adelaide and I found.
All right.
Are we fast traveling there? Or...
I'm just getting what people are doing.
Did we ever leave there?
I'm just gonna go up.
Yeah, we.
I want to
I
meditate.
imagine
I mean, we
probably
kind
this
of like
rock in
the
the pond.
fighting kind of escalated outside of it. So
I'm
I'm going
gonna-
back into the house.
I'm gonna go there with Connor. I'm gonna assist him with like my hunting and tracking skills.
I would be going around and making sure that everyone is okay and helping heal or fix up anyone that was injured.
There are a few monks that were bruised up a little bit. Nobody was killed though.
Can
Means I can still go around.
Heart?
Huh?
Can you mend my broken heart?
Oh.
I do have greater restoration.
Has
so
Henley
probably.
ever been in love?
No.
Are you interested in a cloaca?
Has
No.
Henley ever?
I can't mend that broken heart, son.
Karakwa knows a guy.
Did Henley ever have a crush on someone back in his in his place? Your important dice is an 18.
That's
Ooh.
pretty good.
I would like to cast detect magic in this house.
Well, we had something that to
Okay.
resolve actually before anything.
Yeah, sure.
Adelaide. And her use of the spell. Specifically, you
Okay.
wanted to cast Detect Thoughts on her as she was leaving.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I wanted to cast detect thoughts, and I specified I was going to probe deeper.
That's. That should come with a warning coming from Ida.
Alright, you're trying to probe deeper? That is a wisdom saving throw from Adelaide.
We're probing.
She got a 17.
I think that matches. Yeah, my spell DC is 17.
Alright.
And just to remind myself, she knows I'm doing this.
Yes,
right?
as soon as whenever you, the target knows you probe into her mind.
Connor, I have to ask, why are you constantly mind reading this bitch?
Because he doesn't know what privacy is.
Bitch won't talk.
And the best way to
Well, you
go
see, that's
about
what
that
speech
is
is
not to gain
decisions.
her trust or win her over anyways. Just,
Bitch, you're gonna open
mind
up.
read her.
Just probe her mind. Yeah.
Cast mind
You-
control spells on her. Fuck it.
Alright. Initially, you can get her her surface thoughts. Whenever you initially detect thoughts, there's a little bit of annoyance, a little bit of sadness in a way. But whenever you probe deeper, you can see she almost immediately realizes what's happening. And her sort of brows furrow as she sort of turns her head to you and says, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare, Lord Sarasenio!"
Do I recognize the spell that she cast? I
Uh,
don't have Searing Smite, but it is a paladin spell.
You can roll an Arcana check.
Can't you like
19.
prepare whatever paladin spells you feel like after every long rest?
Are you a high enough paladin to have it?
I thought that's how
Searing
cantrip,
Searing
isn't it?
Smite's a first level spell, so.
Yeah.
Sure. It's looks like it was Searing Smite.
Okay. Have you ever done that before?
She doesn't say anything, just annoyed with you, she walks away. I don't like having my mind probed. And I could tell you were doing it.
I wasn't hiding it.
That's not where she likes to be probed.
I mean, you're not wrong. She just sort of shakes her head and throws her hands up and says, I'm going back to the boat.
It's an airship, actually.
Alright. So Ito wants
It's
to
a sky boat.
Ito wants to be executed and have his entire
Call the
state
labs.
his
Hello.
entire state taken from him and given to someone else.
Smart.
She leaves.
You
I
remember
would
what?
like to cast detect magic in the house.
There is a heavy illusion magic all over this house.
Whoa, that's like my thing, dude.
Unfortunately, I only have detect magic, not dispel magic. So
Well, what?
I would say we let Tommy do his thing.
I will call Aruna. and
Cool,
say,
but could I-
"Hey, Aruna,
Could I real quick send Bird out to look for more monk guys escaping or lurking around the perimeter while I do that?
Sure.
No.
Thank you. Okay, now I'll go do what.
Bert flies into the air, his owly wings fluttering with a flap, 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 much like a sad teenager caught in the bathtub. It soars up into the air, looking down with its bright yellow eyes. Roll a perception check for Bert.
Why a sad teenager caught in a bathtub?
know.
Because happy teenagers are getting laid.
Oops,
Are
I
they-
just hit
That,
that
ex-
for some reason.
that explains why all of us are sad then.
Look, nobody has ever loved me in my life, Cody, so fuck you.
That's fair. I love you though, and you know it.
Are you gonna play Warcry with us?
No,
Then you don't
because I
love
hate
me.
you.
this
that
took a turn."
19 for Al.
Top 10 anime betrayals.
Flying into the sky, are you looking through Bert's eyes, or are you just waiting for him to report?
I feel like at this point he's been pretty dependable on his own. So.
Alright. He soars up into the air, sort of circling above the monastery as the light grows darker and darker. After about 5 minutes, he soars down, landing on your shoulder, and his beak kind of, he like grabs at your ear, the way Beaker grabs at Mike's beard, his glasses,
Oh, so cute.
nipping into it slightly, as he is able to project sort of an image of maybe a half dozen shadows that are sprinting away from the monastery at full speed.
Well, shit.
Definitely some. These definitely weren't all of them. That's for damn sure.
Well,
Uh,
since Reed's.
And I will
you
say
know,
they're sprinting in different directions. They're not all running
Yeah.
away at the same direction.
Well,
You
before
could
Reed
you
runs
could possibly catch a couple of them, but you'd be very unlikely to capture all of them.
We already have like what 5?
Oh yeah, you've
Yeah,
got 5 of them captured, but
before.
you know there's not going to be any way to stop the word from getting out that
Yeah.
they've been compromised here.
Since Reed's the monk man, I will just relay that information to him so he can tell whoever's important here at later date or whenever is needed. But yeah, I'll go find that illusion magic.
The house, you find yourself outside of a house that is somewhat dilapidated looking. It's not very impressive. The windows are like coated with dust, so much so that you can barely really see in. Do a sneeze. It's coming. Okay, it's gone. It was coming, but it's gone. The kid gave me sniffles.
Thanks, kid.
I know.
Fucking children.
But it
Don't do
is, run down. Several of the shingles have been cast aside, whether by wind or the elements. Ito and Henley stand outside it, looking at it. There's still smears of blood. Ito stands looking inside a huge splotch of red, where the Holy Emperor Adelaide was stabbed basically straight in the shoulder. That fucking attack did 30 points of damage, so it almost knocked her out in one blow.
I take off my trilby hat and I bend down and I say, "What do you think, Chief?"
I like it. This is now a
thought
noir
you were
detective story.
I thought you were gonna say "milady," and I was about to like leave the call.
No, it's just LA. This is fucking like LA Noir, not fucking neckbeard shit.
Did you know L.A. Noir invented cops? It's crazy, huh?
I
Did.
press
True.
I press X to doubt.
Oh, here we go. I'll put it in there for you.
Thank you. So
God damn it, Lou. No. Lou, does that thing still have a hole in it?
This is a different one.
You went
Lou-
and bought a second one?
Lou confirmed having
No.
multiple
We
trillion.
found this.
Did you find it in the store?
No, in one of the storage units my dad won.
And you kept it?
Oh shit.
Did you find it in the store? Holy shit.
We got, we got the flat cap.
Alright, a Plinkett
Another
hat.
flat cap.
Okay.
Happy. That's just.
I mean,
Sports.
Lou just really bought a bunch of lice, but okay.
Now, you can clean those hats.
And then we got the other two.
Where's the Stetson?
Lou, have you ever thought about being the hat guy and that could be your thing?
That could be your thing.
That could be
Yeah.
your thing.
So
You can make a YouTube channel.
So,
Oh,
about
you're about
various
to
hats.
go from the children's story.
You could make a YouTube channel just reviewing hats.
so Ito, I hear there's illusion magic in here, huh?
Yeah, I called you over here. Have you showed up yet? Meanwhile,
Yeah, I
Henley
said that
and I
like
are investigating the crime.
What would,
I said that like 10 minutes ago.
Would
before
Henley
we got
like
off
to
an
do it? Would
magic.
Henley like to do anything?
Yeah, I guess I'll roll survival check, see if I can notice anything like odd.
Sure.
Is there any parchment on around?
Not that you see.
I love
I got
this song.
24, Colin.
The signs are very subtle. As you walk
I
the
find
perimeter
store.
of the, basically the house, many tracks that lead to and from the house, but well camouflaged tracks of light feet. You know, clearly fairly stealthy persons were coming to and from this house with what appeared to be some regularity. To the average person, they would never be able to even recognize that these tracks even existed. You're barely able to see them. Just the occasional, there's just little smudges in the dirt, a couple of broken branches, practically nothing. It looks like ranging in age from very new to quite old. Looks like people were moving to and from this house for quite some time.
Can I tell how long, or is it like just a guess?
Is there any rations or anything?
You'd have to guess, basically, from what you can tell, it's been at least a couple months. Beyond that, it's possible, but that would definitely be wiped out no matter what.
Okay. Can I tell when the last time it rained was?
Basically, the soil itself is not very damp.
Because I'm assuming if they're very light and they're being washed away by the rain, that would mean that the foot track would have to be very heavy here for it to stay with how careful they are.
Yeah, like I said, the area is quite dry. It's not likely had any significant rainfall for a while. Not little more than the occasional shower or sleet storm.
Is there anything else you can find, like what they were subsisting on or anything like that? Like if they're just bringing food or...
Not that you can see.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask.
Is it,
Oh, you go ahead.
are they from all directions, or is it just like one continuous direction that they're
Quite a few
continually coming from?
directions. It seems like they've come from quite a few directions.
Okay, so
Whether
I couldn't
that's-
like ask if there's an area That, like, if there's like a cave or something in like an area that I can point to.
Unlikely. You'd have to sort of go and follow them. It looks like it's coming from quite a few different directions, but whether that's because they were from all over the place or because they were just trying to mask themselves what direction they were coming in from, you're not sure.
Well, that seems dangerous to do by myself, so Tommy can go.
Oh, cool.
You arrive at the house after Bert soars down on your shoulder, nipping at your ear, telling you that several monks are fleeing into the darkness, leaving the monastery behind. The house itself, as I said, quite dilapidated, run down, nasty, dusty windows, blood on the floor, that sort of thing.
Okay. Can I figure out what type of illusion is in place, Colin?
Sure. Make an Arcana check.
Yeah. It's pretty good. 22.
You sort of walk into the actual, like, building itself, and you close your eyes and you listen quietly to the winds of magic that swirl around you, just trying to ascertain the exact nature and power of the spells that have been cast on this place. And after a while, you sort of get the feeling that it is, at the very least, some sort of high-level illusion, very powerful.
Okay.
In the realm of at least, sort of in the realm of around programmed illusion, that sort of level.
Oof, okay. So is it the whole room, or is it like a specific section?
It feels like the whole room.
Whole room.
And you said it's clean. They haven't left anything behind.
You don't see anything left behind except the blood on the floor, basically.
I'll do Dispel Magic at 5th level. I'm gonna have to roll, I believe. Yeah, I have to roll because I think Program Illusion's 6th
Yes.
level, so I needed 16 DC. Okay.
I'm gonna start prestidigitationing the blood away.
Do this, cast. Ability check, spellcasting modifier. Duh. That's
It should be
shorter.
decent.
Yeah, it should be decent. That's good. 19.
Alright. You almost sort of scan the room, trying to find like the little crack in the illusion, the little seam that you can begin prying open, destroying the magic that's sort of cast over this place, and you do see it towards the back in what looks like a just plain blank wall covered in cobwebs and dirt, and you just force your mind into the seam, basically wrenching it open by sheer force of will as you completely dispel the magic in this room, and almost as if by magic or dispelling magic, the room itself is changed. About the same size, in fact, slightly larger. The dust is gone, the dirt is gone, the grime has disappeared into the ether as you stare upon what appears to be a fairly, I wouldn't say comfortable, but at the very least clean room that is covered in various tables that have maps. It has a couple of torches that are now burning, revealing, sort of shedding orange light across the room. You can see there are several of these dark uniforms, this monk's garb that they were wearing that's completely pitch black, as well as several, like a rack of various different weapons. There's an apothecary table that has all sorts of poisons and poison-making supplies across the place. It was clearly not really an abandoned building, but a headquarters of some kind that had been set up and, set up to be disguised. Sneeze.
Are there any maps that indicate other locations, like other listening posts?
there are indeed maps on the table, essentially.
I would like to look.
Sneeze. Damn you, baby. You go and you yourself go to the maps and look at them. You can see there is a large, expansive, and well-drawn map of the entirety of Stahlreich. Not just the entirety of Stahlreich, but this entire region, all the ways out to the edge of the Jinma dynasty.
Is there anything written on it, or is it just a map?
There is what appears to be numbers written by dots on various points on the map.
Like
the closest you say what?
Like a sequence of dots for a number?
It
Like
looks like
pips on
they've
a dice?
marked particular areas on the map, and they've written numbers beside them. You can see, actually, there's one that matches up to your current region, and it says 35.
Is there a number by Feist?
Is there a number by Feist? No.
I will look at Aruna, who is not here. Aruna! Alright, I will look at
Getting
Henley.
food.
Henley, are you here? I will look at myself.
Yeah, sorry, I was in my other room. What's up?
It's okay. So I will look to Aruna and Henley and say, so this is information. It's valuable information. They have notes on it, which means it's most likely they would need this information back. We could set a trap for them, or we could take the information, but once we disturb these things, it's fucked.
Well,
The illusion's already dropped, but
I mean, I think that if they fought us and left and they got out, I don't think they're coming back to this spot.
well, also, if they're worth their weight in being spies, they're probably gonna change all of this as fast as they can. Once word gets out, these won't
well,
be.
we're assuming this is a plan and not just note taking.
Yeah.
You said a 35 is next to where we are currently?
Yes.
Colin, are they all different numbers?
Oh yes, there's different numbers. Yours
Okay,
is...
so there's no chance it's like the amount of agents there. It's just like a. Okay.
I mean, you don't know. There's different numbers in different places.
Well, if any of them were the same number, it might not be an indicator of the number of the location. It could be like number of resources or spies or something.
Are there any
No,
duplicate
hang on.
numbers?
On that note, Sapphire Horse?
Ito.
Yep. Hi, that's me. I'm Ito.
Roll a investigation check.
Do I have to?
I mean,
Oh, that's why I asked.
alright.
Yep.
Alas, you don't see anything unusual, just besides the numbers. You're not sure what they mean.
The numbers, Mason.
So, I kind of slightly missed the number part. Is it by monk monasteries or just?
You don't know.
Well, I was about to ask, and then I rolled a 4, so Ito. The map doesn't mean anything. Any log, journal, notes, parchment, or just maps?
Roll a perception
Anything
check.
I can read.
Roll a perception check.
11.
You lift up the map and look underneath it, and around the small table that it's on, all you see is the map.
Where's M at?
Back on the ship.
Currently?
part of me really doesn't want to show him this.
Are you saying that out loud or just as a common
Yeah, no,
statement?
I would say that to Haruna and Henley. He seems a good one, but he is a spy.
Well, I mean, what's he gonna do with it if we give it to him?
I don't know. That's what concerns me.
Well, we also have to think of the benefit. He might know what it means.
That's true. Or at least tell us what he wants us to hear.
Colin,
Yeah.
in the time I've been around this monastery, I would know the sense of the monastery, right?
With
Like the
sense.
Yeah,
sm-
sense.
the smells, or
Like the way it smells.
Sure.
Does anything about this room smell different than the rest of the monastery?
Roll a perception check with advantage. It's a smelly thing.
Roll to see.
A non-natural 20.
It smells a great deal like the monastery, but it also has acrid, acidic smells, pungent aromas of poisons that sort of hang in the air that aren't around the monastery. It smells, it's almost metallic and it stings, causing you to sort of rankle your nose a bit. It smells of parchment and ink, as well as mildew.
Okay. Is Reed here?
I don't think so, no.
No,
No,
I'm
me,
back
Reed
at the
and Bruce were
monastery.
up at the lake. Yeah, we're up at the pond.
Is there
Okay.
any refuse? Any like piles of trash in the corner?
It is pristinely clean.
And I'll be right back.
I will send a message to our favorite vampire bug. And I will say, hey, Alakul, there's some maps here, and I know you have a thing for maps.
While they're... Sorry, go on.
I don't know if we want to take these in particular or make copies.
I'm going to ask Ito Aruna if they could message Reed and ask him if he knows any of the scents I described and if there are plants around here that they may be able to make those poisons from.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Ito is not in a mental capacity.
You know what?
To read over a microphone.
I'll even let, if you want to, roll a nature check.
On that note, though, I'm going to ask Reed if the number 35 means anything.
Why
Or
is
it
double
natural
crit
20?
that? Yeah, natural 20.
Take a screenshot of that, buddy.
You can, it's not that you recognize the, like, scent itself, but you know there are, I mean, within this region, there's without a doubt herbs and various plants that can be used to make poisons. It would not be hard, for if you knew what you were looking for, to go out and seek, you know, these plants in this region.
Seek the plants that he seeks.
But Reed asked
not
you
Shathera's
and the masters, whatever the hell their name is, Emerus, whatever. If the number 35 has any significance.
The number 35?
Yep. Is that an ink?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was written once and was not adjusted.
That does not look like it.
Are there any?
I head
go
over
ahead.
that way, Colin. I'm gonna go look at the maps.
Sorry,
And
go.
I'm gonna go to the ship and bring just like a generic map of the realm, and then so I can transpose the markings.
Are there any Colin, stop me. I know I got a 4. So, are there any pathways, any routes indicated? Something obvious that I would see.
No.
Is it just these numbers? No.
No, nothing that you recognize. It's all just lines and numbers. and the vague shape of the Empire, all the way up to past Beaz Kumlahar to the edge of the Jinma Dynasty.
Was this map produced here, or was it like I know that's a vague question, but do I get the impression that it was made hastily?
You have no clue with that investigation check.
Okay, all right, I'm done fishing.
As for the number 35, I do not have any. It's just a number to me.
Could be the
There
number
is
of
no.
agents.
I
but
know of
that
no
feels-
significance about it.
It could be the number of agents, but that doesn't seem like a significant thing to take
Yeah.
note of.
That's why I was asking if they repeat or something, because that would mean it's a signifier of the area, not a number, not a code for the area itself.
Well, I will hand it to whoever.
Reed,
You
you're
say.
meditating in the monastery garden, right?
Yes,
Right.
and it feels good to be back here.
Alright, so you find a comfortable spot on the rock that you're familiar with. The rock that sits within the heart of the pond itself. A place that, despite the fact that, in your head, you know that it's not like a cushion or a chair that can be worn to your butt print, basically. But whenever you sit down, it's comfortable. It's like it was molded perfectly for you. It's a place you no doubt sat many times in your life in quiet contemplation. And you sit there in serenity for a while. Nothing but the sound of the wind and the occasional burble of a fish that comes up to the surface and splashes across the pond, reaching your ears. After a while, however, you can very vaguely hear the door over here just kind of open quietly, sort of close. As you hear footfalls that are almost as familiar to you as the stone itself. The light but steady and assured falls of Master Fenris as he comes outside. He doesn't say a word, but you hear him walk along the banks and then leap over to this other rock. The shuffling of his robes as he sits down on the rock. Much as he taught you to do in your youth, he does the same, quietly meditating to himself. Bruce, are you there?
He is, but right now, Beaver's not.
Of course he's not.
Kind of hard, because I mean, if he wants to be in this scene, I have no problems with that, but...
That's okay. It feels like it's mostly a read, see? You sit quietly for a while. And
It's
after...
good to see that this wonderful area hasn't changed.
Is a place of peace and contemplation. Comfort.
There's been a lot to contemplate recently. My journeys have taken me so far already. And I feel it's going to take me even further.
Yes. I believe that will be the case. I commend it, and at the same time fear it, even.
As do I. Don't really want to leave. There's comfort and safety here.
Nods his head. But he sort of remains quiet for a while. Did I ever tell you who I was before I came to this monastery? It was long, long before even your grandparents were likely born.
I'd love to hear the tale.
I was Stanlalriel, a keeper of glade and glen. I suppose my people, that would make me something of a town watch, guard, law enforcement of some sort. I upheld the virtues of the society that I lived in. I was good at it too. And you can even sense just the faintest hint of pride that sort of comes into his voice. Great at it, even. However, I was not like you. I was angry. You know why I was angry? Young Underbow. I was angry because I knew that I was right. Others were wrong. That the world I lived in my worldview, it was the way it was supposed to be. These were the laws of the land, after all, and I was meant to enforce them. I thought I could use my anger like a cudgel. I could beat this world in submission, mold it into something better. It was my weapon.
Please refresh Connor's stupid memory. Is Gen here?
No.
No.
No. Okay, I didn't think so.
It was a weapon that I would use to change this world for the better.
Well, what changed with you?
I met a man, Grandmaster Amaris. He taught me that it was... anger was not a weapon. And that good and evil may exist, but there was more to it than what I thought was good and evil. You know, how many nights I went to bed without a thought in my head of the thief that I threw in jail. Was he someone that was stealing for his family? Did he have his reasons? I don't know. But those doubts, they crept in me. And I realized I didn't like that my anger was a cudgel against the world. And so I joined this monastery in its infancy. There was no more than a handful of acolytes underneath Grandmaster Amaris. And I realized the most important thing. Anger is not my weapon. Knowledge is. Teaching, passing on knowledge to young ones such as yourself. Go out and do good, but also to understand good.
But is the knowledge we have here going to be enough, Master? I've begun my journey and gotten so far.
And in the
And I
end,
fear
it doesn't
that-
even matter?
Damn it. Damn, you that's my train of thought. I've gone so far, and I feel that I might not have what I need through our teachings to continue this fight.
That is the nature of fighting evil at the end of the day and doing good.
The undead that we've seen, the Everfrost that have begun their path down. I don't believe that the martial is the way to go.
What does your heart tell you, young Underbow?
I'm back.
My heart tells me that I must learn more of the magics and the mystical side in order for us to adequately impair this threat.
Is a fine thing to seek, as long as it is tempted or tempered by wisdom, standing. May
But I
very
wouldn't know
well
where
go
to start,
seek.
Master. Nope. But I wouldn't know where to start. The blade is all I know.
The blade is what is taught here, I'm afraid. But there are other places to go. Other orders of monks that would aid you, teach you.
I know Saltesh would love to meet you.
Sorry, what did you say, Beaver?
Said, I know that Master Saltesh would love to meet you, Reed.
Is he the master of your monastery?
Yes, sir. He's the one who sent me to find you. Or sent me to find Master Amaris.
Well, I'd gladly talk to him if it means a greater understanding of the world and how to stop this threat.
It seems you're willing to take on a great amount of responsibility.
The responsibility may seem great, but the least that I can do to help this earth we all live on.
That decides more than one thing. Initiate Reed, Underbow. Myself and Grandmaster Amaris have discussed it, and believe you are ready to undertake the trial of mastery, if you wish to become a master in this order.
It would be my deepest honor.
And I assume and understand that you know what goes on, what this undertaking this trial means. To stand in the ring with Grandmaster Amaris.
Indeed. But I do not believe that I will falter.
That is good. And I do not believe that you will either. I've not been this hopeful and, dare I say, excited for an acolyte for a long, long time. I will inform Grandmaster Amaris that you sent to this trial. And tomorrow you will stand against him in the ring. And I believe that you will earn your title of master.
I will do you proud.
Even if you didn't undertake this, you would have done me proud already. He gets up from the rock and he... you can hear there's his knees like pop and crack with his age, but he still lithely leaps over the banks over here. Says, "Be well rested, young Underbow." Grandmaster Amaris, he is a jovial sort. Far less strict than I can be, but in that ring he is formidable.
Yes, Yes,
but
master.
he opens the door and he passes through and closes behind him. And you already know the, like I said, I think last week we talked about the trial of mastery, which involves fighting Grandmaster Amaris. Nobody dies. It's never there's.
But it can get
It
bloody.
can get bloody. As soon as you step in that ring to fight, all damage is considered non-lethal. You have to declare it to be lethal, basically to say you're killing someone. And he is a very powerful fighter. You also don't go in with any of your weapons, essentially. The wall of the rings are lined with weapons, and you choose a weapon. That way you don't go in with like enchanted weapons or anything like that. It's just it is strictly the weapon you choose from the wall. And you know, Grandmaster Amaris' fighting style is pretty impressive. He basically dual wields like sickles.
Alright. So I don't know if Bruce wants to talk a little more, but at this point, Reed would meditate for a little while longer, but he would actually also take out the sword that Fenris gave him at the start and continue to meditate while laying it across his lap.
Alright. Bruce, if you want to, you can talk to him. If you want to, feel free to talk to him about your monastery. I don't really have anything on the 4 Elements Monastery.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot in mind either, honestly. I haven't put too much thought into
Well, guess what? Fucking nut up and make shit up like I do all the time.
Yep.
But I am gonna go pee real fast, and you can tell. And I will see what you come up with whenever I get back. But I do have to pee.
At 4 Elements College of Monkery, we have rocks, and we have fire, and we have water. And then I don't remember what the 4th one is, but we just throw them at each other?
It's pretty accurate.
Okay, making sure.
Just so you know, if you hold shift, you can actually put yourself on a you won't be centered on a tile.
It removes you from the
That way,
grid.
if you want to, you can actually sit on the rock.
You can sit on Reed's head. It's part of his training to keep his neck straight. Iron head technique.
I finished basing the Ogroid Thaumaturge.
Wait, what was it?
Hold shift. Uh-oh, someone disappeared.
Can't believe Cody came here just to leave. What a guy. Oh, there he is.
Like if you're dragging and you hold shift. Is it not working?
Well, no, it's because I'm using the shift that's bound to my mouse. It's probably what it is.
Okay.
That's alright.
I've done it.
I cannot believe that Lou literally said, I studied the blade.
Damn straight.
No, the blade is all he knows.
The blade
Connor.
is all he knows. Oh my god. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for some rando monk NPC to go, Reed! You are the chosen one!
You should learn from your master how to punch down to the Underdark to rescue your girlfriend.
I'm back. What did you decide on?
Oh, like Anji and
Reed
fucking
studied
Rurouni
the blade.
Kenshin.
We
Yeah.
actually haven't talked about Chia.
Oh,
What the hell, Cody?
Cody's starting his Chatterbait stream.
What?
About time.
I will remind you, Lou. It might be a good idea to tell Grandmaster Amaris and Master Fenris to expect maybe Korra to show up here.
I was going to. It just, it kind of ended before I could. I know,
Is
I need to
Cody
tell
showing us his
Master
cooking?
Fenris.
What?
Are you showing us your cooking?
No, I just realized I could have Discord on the phone. So this is, I'm here and I'm still listening.
Oh, it's okay.
Nice.
Oh, right.
That's okay.
Can I attend Lou's mastery training and participate in it?
I would actually, it'll be encouraged for anybody that wants to watch it and, well, I mean, watch it and participate in it. Obviously, participating in it as like interfere would be looked on pretty heavily down on. But watch.
I want to fight Reed.
Wait, so I can't turn Reed into a T-Rex?
No, that would be very very poorly looked upon.
Can I kill Reed and puppet his corpse? in the fight?
You'd have to
Hell yeah.
make some pretty impressive deception rolls.
We're gonna weaken at Bernie's read.
But yeah, no, I know. I
We
need to
should have
tell
done that years ago.
Enris that Cora's coming, and I need to tell Amaris that Soul Sanctus said hi.
That's true.
Okay. Can I just real quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Either to Colin or Reed, do the monks make good booze here, or is that not their thing?
This is not their
No.
thing here.
No.
Okay.
That's my monks.
That is indeed the Ilderoy Hans monks.
That is, yeah.
Okay.
Which were originally just going to be a bunch of drunkards, but Connor had a thing about haka and grape swishing.
They're fucking Maori sumo wrestlers, grape crushers.
Do we have good?
Maori.
we have-
Maori sumo wrestlers.
Do we have good?
Maori.
Do we have good booze on the
No,
boat
I said
or
it
on the
all.
airship at all?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna
You might have to ask Adelaide.
I was gonna go hang out with Adelaide since Ito's a
Go,
prick.
but go ahead and do that. That's fine. I'd kind of like to. Does Karakwa want to do anything?
Well, he's cooking.
I know. I want to know if
He's-
Cody
he's
wants
here.
to do anything. He's still here.
Cody,
What?
I'll sell you $50 if you take your pants off while you're cooking.
I want to see you burn your
Don't.
dick on a
You're
burner.
you're already too much daddy for me to handle.
No.
Oh my god.
God damn it! You better give the money.
He just fucking like
Colin, it's
no
better that you're looking
hesitation
down.
at all.
He took them off.
Took off his
$50.
pants.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
Oh,
talking,
no.
but he's not saying.
You fucking-
Cody's about to give us the talk.
he fucking did it, Connor. So you need to fucking send him the money.
It's true.
Otherwise, you're a little bee.
So, well, the last thing I remember.
I don't know,
was
the
when-
last time I zelled Cody money, he yelled at me.
Let
it was
Karakwa talk.
So the last thing I remember was we were discussing. You were asking us what we wanted to do. I don't know how long ago that's been. Like how much has progressed since then.
Basically, there's stuff that's going on at the same time, so you could go doing stuff while they're doing their investigation and all that stuff.
I remember saying I was going to make sure everyone was okay, treat anyone that was injured.
Ooh, okay. You actually
If there was any.
find
Okay,
that
go
there are a
ahead.
couple of monks that were injured. Nobody was killed, but there were a couple of injuries and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The monks themselves have been whenever you go into the dormitory, you can see there's actually quite a few monks in here. Several of them are staying. Like I said, I only put like 4 tokens on the map, but the monks here are quite numerous actually. Easily matching the amount of just lay people that live outside of it. There's maybe 100 monks here or so. Many of them just young initiates and acolytes, a few masters.
Is 100 monks a lot for a monastery? Because that doesn't really seem like a lot. For when
No.
when I think of monks.
No, this was a
Colin
monastery
saying our
that
monastery is rather smallish.
it's small and out the way.
Okay.
But I mean, he also did say that the outside population was also about 100. So
Like,
It's just a small.
we're
Well, it's also
we're in a
the
small
middle
area
of
of half
nowhere.
its monks.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like that giant mountain that we were on the top of, that monastery there had a lot more. Than
it did
100.
have a lot more monks actually, despite the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that it's relatively it was meant to be secretive. Even though it was itself isolated, it was much larger and technically much more isolated. And there were significantly more monks, but they were all like kobold and dragonborn for the most part, except for a couple of outlying cases.
Sure.
But this is much smaller than the Silver Dragon Monastery.
Okay.
In
So there's
fact, you know what? I'll even say. No, never mind. Karak wouldn't know stuff about the Onyx Serpents. He would, but beyond what I've told you, minor run-ins, you wouldn't know the size of it.
Nah, Krakow's not really done a lot of monk shit, except for like the monks that are in the city where Dilliman was.
But the monks
like-
did seem to recognize your wildfire totem.
I thought it was just that one shifty guy that we ended up killing.
I was gonna ask, does Karakwa tell us about that?
Like I said,
dude?
he was
Because
he
if
was at the end of
Ito
the day
knows
one of
about
those
that
monks.
dude. If Ito knows about that dude, he's gonna seek him out.
That dude is dead. That dude was killed.
That dude is Oh, he was okay.
He was one of the monks that was fighting up in here.
And which side was he on?
He's a bad guy.
That guy.
Okay, just check.
He ended up
No
being
good monks
he
were
ended up
harmed in the
being-
making of last
At the end of
session.
the day, he ended up being one of the ones that donned the black monk garb and attacked in here, basically.
Where's the kid?
Sean?
Was that his name?
Sean, yes. Very monk name.
He
Sean Monk of the New
He went
Hampshire
for
Monks?
a walk outside town and has not been seen since.
yeah, before the attack.
Before the attack.
Aruna, you know Scry, right?
Ha!
You can Scry.
I don't have the material component.
What's the
What do you
material
get?
component?
Real fucking expensive.
Well, what is it?
Una memento. Because it is something I picked up, but I've been notoriously poor this entire campaign.
You've got stuff on the boat you can sell. So.
Should have let Klaus take the gold, man.
Yeah, focus worth at least 1,000 gold pieces, such as crystal ball, silver mirror, or fonts filled with holy water.
I refuse to believe that Madam... I can't remember how to say her
she
name.
absolutely has
Vestia.
1,000 gold crystal ball.
Okay.
Yoink.
Madam Vestia?
Thank you. Is it
Vestia.
Vestia or Vestia?
Estia.
Vestia.
Vestia. Okay. I can never remember how to say her name.
It's
But
Vestia the Chestia.
If we
She
could,
absolutely has a crystal ball you can use.
Okay.
I feel like there might be more to this interaction with this kid than we know.
Well, thankfully, Ito doesn't know anything about this kid.
I'm assuming you spoke.
Why?
We haven't really had a chance to speak on it. We kind of went our own ways when we got to the monastery, and then this shit happened. So that would probably be honestly on the back of his mind right now, Karako's mind.
All right, then disregard. Forget I said anything.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I
No,
don't
it's,
think
if you don't think Karako would say it, then I wouldn't have that idea to bring it up to Aruna. So if you don't think that would happen, then retcon that
No.
shit.
now that 2 and 2 might happen later once he's thinking about it more. But as of right now, no.
This is grassland, right? There's nothing out here, right?
This far up north, it's mostly scrubby grasslands. The really verdant
we're-
areas are far to the south until they reach
we're like-
swampy areas.
We're like right here, right? On the map.
Basically, you're sort of like up on the map, like we're up.
We chose to, yeah.
You're following this
Somewhere
line,
around
so
here.
you're somewhere pretty well up there.
So we're not looking
Everybody
for.
else together, we're up here, you know. Up.
We're not looking for a cave.
As I was telling Colin, I was going to make sure that no one was seriously injured and to help heal us up who were.
I think the biggest hurt was Adelaide, but I already cured her.
Sure, but I remember Colin
The
going,
biggest
"Oh,
the
I
one-
know."
The biggest
got
hurt
really
you saw.
hyped. Yeah. Then he went, "Oh, I know." So it seemed like something was gonna happen. Then we got sidetracked.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you like I said, find yourself going and searching out for people that were injured and stepping into the dormitory. You see, there's quite a few monks here. The beds are very, like I said, they're stacked, almost 4 high. They're small, but comfortable enough. They've got it's not. I mean, it's not like fucking Auschwitz in here or anything.
So we've been
And you-
watching Squid Game.
You said this doesn't have there's not a village nearby this monastery. This place is in the middle of nowhere, right?
No, I mean, I guess
I
technically
remember you said there was like a somewhat occupied area, but
Nah,
it wasn't.
I imagine
like a
maybe
village.
you could consider the area just outside the monastery to be a village, but it's not like recognized as that on the map. It's just where people have sort of sprung
It's-
up around it.
But there's
But other than that, it's like in the
population
middle of
center.
nowhere.
It's Burlington. Got it. Thanks.
It's a wide road off I-40 with a monastery instead of a gas station. Got it.
So there's not really any villages around here. You're the most excitement to happen in a long time.
That's sad.
But as I was saying, trying to describe it to Karakwa so he has a chance to do some stuff and help people. Many of the people that are sort of shuffled into the barracks of the monastery itself, you can see quite a few of them are sporting injuries. It looks like the attack was a little bit more extensive than you possibly thought. What you saw was only part of it. There was other fighting going on around monastery as well. Just, you know, you were an abstraction essentially of the entire scene.
Sure.
And so there's quite a few people that are injured. Some of them relatively grievously. They've been set to the side, and they're in their own. They are in much wider beds. But the monastery itself, it doesn't really have like a healing ward or anything like that. For the most part, any sort of nicks and scrapes and things like that are just dealt with. Anytime there's a serious injury, they're usually dealt with in the like cafeteria area. They have, well, I mean, they have more open space there. They'll set up beds and things like that. Unfortunately, that is where the other monks are being held. Bad monks.
Lore question.
Yeah.
I know when we say monk, I know I'm thinking Dungeons and Dragons specific monk as a class. But are there healers and magic user monks?
There are healing monks. There's the Ruby Serpent Monastery that are the Way of Mercy monks.
Is that a specific monk monastery, or is it like
that is a specific monk monastery? The Ruby Serpents are a specific monastery that are the Way of Mercy. That is a specific subclass.
Okay. So there's most likely not any kind of magical healers here.
Not really, no. Not really, no.
Okay. Then I would seek out whoever seems to be in charge and let them know that, you know, hey, let me know, tell me who is most seriously injured, and let me see if I can aid them.
There's a very harried looking woman who sits by the bedside of 3 monks that look like they have been grievously injured. Her robes are different. Is there a particular color that you ascribe to this monk monastery, Lou, or?
Aren't they blue?
Not really, just you know, ruby. So.
Oh well, yeah. I was going to say your monastery. The Ruby Serpents wear monastery. White and red.
If you're talking my monastery, I mean, the thing I've been doing is you know, earthen tones, green and brown.
She is a stark contrast from the other monks who wear very sort of earth shady tones. Her basically robes are, I mean, she looks a lot like a white mage, essentially. Her robes are stark white, sort of lined with red, and with sort of what the back of it has a sort of red serpent that is emblazoned on the back. It actually looks like sort of a red Ouroboros style symbol.
Sure.
She sits at the bedside of them. She is clearly exhausted, harried, barely keeping her eyes open as she oversees these 3 particular monks that are... They don't look like they're dying, but they've been hurt grievously.
So since he looks so different and, you know, Karak was extremely racist, I will ask her, are you in charge here, ma'am?
Since she's also racist, she says, oh my god, it's one of those scalies.
Oh fuck, I've been found.
Her eyes dart open.
Goes, where?
She sort of straightens her robes and says, yes, well, I mean, not of the monastery, no, but of the healing right now, I suppose I am the best suited to it.
Please, let me offer my aid. I know many restorative magic.
Well, it would be welcomed. I've done what I can to stabilize them. After the fight, I'm afraid that I was relatively spent, and if there's anything you can do for them, their comfort would be welcomed.
Point me to the ones that need it most.
She sort of motions to the three next to her. She says, "These three were the worst wounded. We've got nicks and cuts and scrapes, but these three, their wounds would be fatal if things weren't done." As she motions, you can see several of them, you can see the wounds themselves have been sort of knitted closed, save for a couple that seem to fester and rot. And she sort of shakes her head, saying, "Vile poisons, such treachery."
Being poisons, if I need to do a medicine check, I'm not at my computer. I don't know if you can make rolls for me with my skills.
I can make rolls for you. It's not hard for me to.
Would I need to do something beyond just a cure wounds for something like that?
Would you
Just
need
to
to?
Heal them of the poisons along? Is it a debilitating, long-lasting, this is going to kill them eventually poison, or only because they're so wounded?
Skills.
Connor.
All right.
This is your
You got
balls.
a 22 on a medicine check.
That's my dream.
That's pretty good.
Looking at it and trying to sense it, you see these poisons. It doesn't look like they're magical in nature. They could likely be purged using a basically remove poison spell or an antitoxin. They're not magical.
Okay. Would I recognize with my rudimentary alchemy what kind of natural medicine in this area could help treat that?
You do recognize the poison. It is one that is derived from hemlock, and it is something that can be cured with some. You can fix. You can indeed get antitoxins and antipoisons from this. In fact, you have a very easy access to antitoxins. Lincoln sells them, or Lincoln carries them. He normally sells them, but it's possible you could convince him to hand some over for the most part.
Do I know that Karak was doing this?
No. But Lincoln can provide them, or you can, if you want to buy them, you can get them from Lincoln. They're not super expensive. At the same time, you could try to convince him to hand them over, or you could try to craft them yourself. Lincoln himself has access to full alchemy and herbs.
Then, for now, what Karak will do, I will cast a level 2 Cure Wounds on all 3 of the most sick people.
Right.
To get them out of the most hurt that they're feeling and try to fix up as much as they can.
You can see their faces sort of tensed with pain slowly relax. And the wounds nick closed. They're still off color. You can tell that the poison is still there, but they are comfortable enough to at least sleep at the moment.
And I never got this woman's name, but I will ask for it in a moment. And I'll tell her the poison, thankfully, is easy to remedy. On my airship, I have supplies that I can get to help them. I can even show you how to make it too, if you are knowledgeable in that. Give me a moment.
Of course.
What was your name?
Gravy Boat Jones.
Not Skin Marie.
I want to disconnect, but my hands are covered in meat right now. I don't want to touch my phone. Can
Oh my god,
kick me?
he's jerking off on the screen.
Oh!
I think Cody's.
Eat that meat, Cody.
I like that Cody's making dinner.
Laura wasn't supposed to work today, and she's working, so I gotta come in here and do it.
Oh, she's working tonight too.
Yeah.
Something about penis.
Joke's on you. Cody's into that shit.
I'm sad. I honestly cannot remember the name that I gave this woman last week.
My fucking wife.
It was if this is supposed to be like the
Skinflint
the same
Marine.
founder one, Umara.
Yes, is the same woman that you met last week.
I don't know if I met her.
Like the name I gave her was Umara Anthendam, but I didn't really give a damn about the last name. I just picked the first thing I saw in the names in D&D Beyond.
Umara. Umara is my name.
Karakwa. I'll return to the
She says, thank you. You have a healer spirit. You have been welcomed at our monastery. If it existed anymore.
What do you mean? Am I not in it now?
Oh, no, I hail from a different monastery, one that was attacked by the same people that attacked this one.
Where do you hail?
We lived in the Grunwald forest. Within the heart of it, far on the northern region, close to the mountain ranges, to Druxfon Spine.
I know exactly where that is. Where is that cop?
Do you?
It says, where is that? You can't see the map, but it would be up around here.
Great. Up around there, yes. Is that far from here?
Yes.
Or
it's a long way
It's
from
on
here.
the other side of the country.
It's on the other side of the basically region.
It's like northeast of Chris Castle.
Jeez, that is a long way. There's a lot of people. There are many people here who have traveled from long distances. What brings everyone here?
Terrible circumstance, I'm afraid. We were sent out from the monastery to help people evacuate from this creeping Everfrost. And I suppose the Onyx Serpents, they found their opportunity to strike and wipe out much of the monastery. Very few survived. We'd actually received a letter from Grandmaster Amaris telling us to be careful and cautious, but it's hard to be cautious when worrying about evacuating and helping others make their way out.
I'm glad that you have made it here where you can help these others where they are needed. Don't you worry. We will make sure none of these men fall tonight.
The monastery will rebuild. The Ruby Serpents will rise again. I swear it on my life. You would be welcomed there.
An honor of you to invite me, but a monk's life is not for me.
I understand. It can be difficult. It is an ascetic life of devotion.
I will return momentarily. Please, if there is anyone else in need of healing.
This would be a situation where, if you wanted to, much like Tommy was able to receive training in Warlock, you could learn with her to transform druid levels into monk levels if you wanted to. But
Oh my god.
that is not necessarily. It's just something you could do if you wanted to.
That sounds awesome. I'm not gonna do that. Thank you.
But it would be unfortunately Way of the Mercy monks. Nobody wants to be Way of the Mercy. They suck. All they want to do is heal people.
I mean, you think about Karakwa like blasting fire and shit, but I mean, he's also a great healer. Wildfire is also like tons of healing magic and healing support.
I didn't hear. I thought you said great healer. I thought you meant to say gay healer.
That too. Beaver, you're next.
Ew.
I'm gonna heal you of the gays.
My name is Mike Pence.
Cody
Does anybody wonder
sells
what Mike Pence is up to these days?
Cody sells my
Thinking of turning on
pillows.
Trump and possibly running for president.
Cody sells my pillows, right?
Rock was family did.
Wait,
It was the
wait.
Bible, pyramid scheme before he was taken out of the swamp. to
Wait, are
become
you
a druid.
telling me that my pillows are actually made out of meat, Colin?
Hell yeah. That was like ass interference. What the fuck? Alright.
If
You go
want
back to the ship.
okay.
Like I said, you said you're heading back to the ship, right? I feel like you got
Yes.
everything you need to save from her.
Well, also I got the main situation, the main problems out of hand. Got them squared away.
Yeah,
now.
the poison is still raging, but they're grievous wounds. They'll at least be able to rest. The other wounds here are, some of them are pretty bad, but none of them are life-threatening.
If any of them are pretty bad, if it's just like normal injury stuff, I could stop and heal them too.
Okay.
If it's just like bone injuries and they
Yeah.
drank too much bone
It
juice
looks
last night or something.
it looks like it's mostly lacerations. These three failed their poison saving throws whenever I rolled them. The rest managed to pass. So
Bitches.
they're just sliced up, but they're not poisoned. So you're able to go and heal their slices. You don't need to, like I said, you don't need to expend magic for that, or I'm not gonna make you. Your medicine check was really good. So you
Okay.
basically are like I said, you're able to check stitches on things like that, where the other monks have stitched or basically stitched each other up. And for the most part, it's a good job. You correct a couple of things. You find a couple of wounds that do need to be stitched that were kind of overlooked. Oversee that they are stitched, but like I said, it's mostly slashes and cuts and a couple of broken bones that you make sure are correctly set, so they'll actually be able to walk correctly and things like that. All the other wounds are non-life-threatening though. Nobody was going to lose a limb. They might be a little bit limp, but you help with that essentially.
Good.
And then you head back to the airship.
Oh my
How long
God.
do I know Lincoln?
How long to what?
How long have I known Lincoln?
At this
he new to
point-
me?
At this point, I mean, to you, Cody, you haven't had a lot of interaction with him, but at this point, Karak would have known him for like a couple of weeks at least.
So I know him, but I'm not like, hey, my man Lincoln, bada bing, bada boom.
He's not the type of person you would be like, hey, Lincoln, bada beam, bada boom with. He's not unfriendly,
anyway.
but he is.
I mean, everyone's like that if you want to be.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, but you would not be close with him.
Okay.
You do know, at the very least, he is very good at poisons, very stealthy. Alchemy. He's good at alchemy, specifically poisoning, and can provide you with poisons. He's also really good. It's hard. He's kind of like Im, where Im's good at getting information. Lincoln's good at getting rumors, which is it feels like it's the same, but it's very different in its own way.
Yeah,
One is for side quests, one is not.
One is for side quests. So
Oh.
he's really good at going and getting rumors from people. Whether those rumors are true or not, however, is
Rumor has it.
He could also teach you to use a poisoner's kit.
Oh no! No!
Colin's allergic to Adele.
Same.
Baby,
Same.
I blame the baby.
Hello.
How are you allergic to Adele?
Because her music's bland and boring.
Hello,
Yeah, I just
Tommy's in
Don't enjoy
it.
California getting sued by Adele. Can't you see? All right. Let's see. So that is a scene for Reed and Bruce. That is Fuck you, Max, you fucking turd shit. Alec, cool, what are you doing?
Sucking some people.
Well,
Isn't he with them?
He was getting
Looking at the
called
map?
to them, yes. But if he's doing anything before them,
Bug slurping noises.
what would you like?
Oh yeah, the map. Just the maps. They're just gonna go do
Alright,
the
so
maps.
you do get called to them, okay. You find them back at the hut, essentially, but they've managed to dispel the illusions over it, revealing a rather cozy, clean interior that is, it's not well lit, but it's at least dimly lit and showing all sorts of poisons and poisoner's kit and maps and things like that. Whenever you go and you look at the map, go ahead and give me a intelligence cartography tools check. Or, you know, even a wisdom cartography tools check. That probably would be better.
Wisdom check plus proficiency.
Yep.
Whatever. What is? Why did my fucking character sheet close? All right. Well. Let's see. Why don't I have access to a fucking character?
Blow the nose.
There we go.
Blow the nose.
So plus 4, so 25.
Alright. You look over these maps and you can see they're not as well as the maps you could draw, and they're definitely not as nice as the maps that are on the Skyweaver, but you can vaguely make out where they are and where all the landmarks are. You can see they have outlined several of the or they have pinpoints on several locations. One you immediately recognize as this monastery. One you immediately recognize as the Silver Dragon Monastery, and as you look over them, you suspect it's several other monasteries that have been pinpointed out. Whenever you look at this, you can see that they have various numbers listed to it, but you also, in the faint light, you can't quite make it out, but you can see what appears to be the way that it catches the light whenever you hold it up. There is something else to this map, and you can't quite figure it out. There's probably some sort of invisible writing on it. It's not that you can't make out the writing, but you every now and then see like this weird indentation on the map. It looks like there's all sorts of secret writing on this map as well.
They use steam and it dries clear.
It's true. You need a black light.
You can see clearly now. The rain has. Wait, what?
You need a black light, and you realize that the map you're holding on is just is a jizz-covered cum rag.
So it's Geo's blanket?
Oh.
No.
So apparently, the Seahawks coach couldn't find his challenge flag, so he ended up tossing his hand warmer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, what?
The Seahawks coach couldn't find his challenge flag, so instead he threw down his hand warmer.
That's not the official flag, you fool.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. I mean, yeah.
Actually, I think that is the rule.
How do you not find your flag? Isn't that their job to hold the flag?
I don't know.
One of which
Did they
you
drop?
can see, but like I said, you
I
see
give up. The stream keeps
there's
fucking
monasteries,
crashing
and
for
you
me.
also see there's and you can see beside each one there's a number listed on these dots. They look like they're monasteries, including one on the Ile de Royhan, which has 17 written next to it.
Cody, you're muted.
What is the largest of these numbers?
The largest of these numbers is actually in the heart of Beaz Kum Lahar. It has a note that says 87. With that check, you realize it's Parzula.
Okay.
Somewhere in the distance, Connor's other character goes, "Oh."
Parzula.
Well, I've got it transcribed, but Ito, I'm taking these, and I've
That's
grab
fine. They don't mean
all
anything
of
to
the
me.
maps.
I don't think they'll
And I'm-
mind.
They're not coming back. I just grab. I was just like, if you can grab anything, grab everything in this room. Let's go.
I pick up a bunch of shit like a pack animal and move it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything of note other than the map, so I'm just leaving. Farzula does not mean anything to Ito.
I didn't say anything to any of you guys. I will go and speak with one of the masters. I'll try and find one of the masters.
You tell us to grab shit though, right?
Like, I grabbed the maps. If there's anything else in the room, just grab it.
Collins, or anything else I can grab?
You find what appears to be a fairly sizable chest. It is locked by a heavy iron padlock.
Somebody can pick that.
Somebody they'll be able to break the padlock or pick the lock, but it is currently locked. But it's a fairly sizable chest. And it's heavy as fuck.
I could probably break it.
No,
I'm not really finesse anymore.
bring all that crap, and we're going to speak to I guess I would probably say the Grandmaster Amaris.
All right. Ito, are you doing anything else?
Well, if I run into Karakwa, I'm gonna politely remind them that I can heal poisons.
Are you pursuing Adelaide at all, or?
Yeah, no, I was gonna go find Adelaide and apologize.
She went back to the ship. Whenever she was annoyed that
What was that? What was that, Tommy?
Well, man, I'm already gonna fight Ito, so have at it.
Why are you gonna fight me?
Cause you're a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Well,
you asked.
Be present yesterday.
Got it.
Do you want?
What?
Wait,
I say, do you want to seek her? Do you want to try to find out more about maybe what she did? You could go talk to Runo about it. You could.
Aruna's with Adelaide, if I remember correctly.
She's
I
headed
would say
back
I'm
to the
going
ship.
ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would go find Adelaide,
All right.
assuming I would run into Aruna.
So
in
let me
Cinder.
actually get logged back into D&D Beyond. But you said Searing Smite is a level like
I
one
thought it was a
cleric spell.
cantrip.
No, it's a.
It was a paladin.
Or it's a level. It's a first level spell.
It's like it's a bonus action first level, so you can cast it and then smack people with it, pretty much.
I have to fucking authorize D&D Beyond. It's fucking stupid. Every fucking time. Okay. So,
It's a first
Just
level
remove
spell.
all firewalls.
manage character.
All right.
Need to go to spells. No.
Henley, you and probably Alec will take the chest. Like I said, your surprise is heavy. Between the two of you, I kind of have to lift up between you as you also gather the maps underneath one arm, heading back to the monastery itself.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Did you say it was magically locked or no?
It's
just
not
locked.
magically. It's just got a heavy padlock on it. You could break it or pick it.
Can I attempt to break it?
Sure.
What do you mean a rule for that?
You have to give me an athletics check.
29.
Colin,
All right.
is it a cleric spell?
It's
Because I don't see it for mine under my known list.
I don't want to expand on that.
No, that's fine. I didn't know if that's a spell that I would have known of and could be like, oh yeah, I know that. Is all. That's the only reason I was checking. If you don't want to expand this, that means I don't know what
You
it
would
is.
not recognize it from your clericness. It's not part of
But
your thing.
But you said I did.
You didn't recognize what the spell was. You just recognized that it was unusual. It was definitely a spell that was cast, and she was surprised because she has never learned to cast spells. With a 29, you easily are able to put the your sort of bony short sword in and sort of to the hasp, and you're able to leverage it open as you like put it between the staple of the lock and the actual wood itself, and you wrench downwards. The lock itself is not magical in any way, shape, or form. It is quite sturdy, but you're able to basically snap the staple on it, essentially pulling the lock away from it. And like I said, the blades of the boar are magical weapons, so they don't snap. You pull the lock away.
I open the chest.
In-
I face it away from me and open it.
Alright. As you do so, several needles fly out, dink, 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 but they fly into the wall. As you sort of peer over the chest, you can see there is a very large leather sack that sits slightly ajar. You can see the glitter of gold from within it. You also see a sealed letter. This letter has what appears to be a seal that is like made of black wax, and it has a dragon's head that is sealed onto it that has been broken.
I asked Alakul if he recognizes that.
No, but I do
know, not
recognize
Did you
that.
say black dragon head?
But the
It's
black
made of black
dragon
wax.
is the black. What you said, but it had like a black dragon
But
head.
it does
with,
have
like,
a
the
dragon's
emblem.
head on it, yes.
So yeah, I believe that's probably their leader. I think we've surmised is like a group in general. I believe one of the black dragons is leading them.
That seems
Ah,
likely.
okay.
Judging by the fact that they want to get... I mean, what Klaus told you is they want to get back the fucking eye.
You said what was else in here besides that that letter?
A large leather sack that you can see is sits slightly open, the glitter of gold from within it.
I'm just gonna take that and I'll distribute it amongst us later if it's enough to bother distributing.
As you search through it, it looks like it was significant funding for this particular group. Perhaps the bulk of it. There's 1,300 gold pieces in here.
Christ.
Yeah, I'll distribute that later. Then that's fair.
It's basically the treasury that was funding this group.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll remember to do that. And then what else was in there? Just a bunch
The
of other
letter.
Just the letter, yeah.
So it's only the gold and the letters. I thought you said there was a third thing in there.
Nope.
It's just a shit ton of gold.
Just a ton of
Okay,
gold.
that's fine. All right, we can go. Actually, do we want this chest? Maybe we can put something in it later. I just take the chest. It's probably worth some gold, or we can store stuff.
Yeah, we can just take the chest. It's probably easier to carry the gold in the chest than it is to lug a sack around anyway.
All right.
Easier, yeah. You are able to get, like I said, 1,300 gold is a lot of weight. They really should have done this in platinum pieces, but they didn't. You lift them up and
Everyone gains
copper pieces.
162.5 gold.
Ooh, nice.
What was that, Rick?
Everyone gains 162.5 gold except for Connor. Who wants to claim his?
I'll
I
take
claim
it.
it.
No, I'm kidding. It's mine. I found it.
Okay.
Adelaide claims all the money for herself, and if you don't, she has you executed.
Good.
She she comes to you, Karakwa, and strangles you in your bed. You're turned on by it, and she is too. And then she says, she tells you to strangle me, lizard daddy.
My cloaca enlarges.
All right, her clit is bigger than your entire penis, so.
Good. That's even hotter.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Abigail has an abnormally large clit. It's actually a 13-inch dick. I can't believe Caroline is winning. I blame Cam Newton.
Right? Like, he shows up and all of a sudden all the people want to play in Carolina. Or at least the people that are actually playing.
Alright.
Newton shows up, makes the team win, refuses to elaborate further, leaves again.
Don't forget to... you do...
Goes back to New England.
Definitely add that money to your sheet, though. Because I will not remember it.
I went ahead and added 162.
162 gold.
Yep. I did as well.
Who wants Venta's share?
It's 162.5 gold.
I'll just think, who wants Ventus shares since Max isn't here to accept it?
I feel like we could divvy that up further.
0.5 would be 50, right? 50 silver.
Yeah.
That's an additional 23.14 gold if we split up Max's share.
That's what?
23.
He's not using
Max should give it. Just give that 162 gold to fucking.
He gives it to the blacksmith.
Yeah, he needs to pay the blacksmith.
That's fair.
He doesn't deserve it,
But he'll pay off the
fuck ever.
blacksmith.
He just doesn't get it. I mean, it's not going directly to him. It was too much money.
You find your people go I'll say Aruna.
Yeah,
You head back to the ship. The Skyweaver sits just outside of the monastery itself, maybe a mile or so. Scrubby land around it is covered in sort of dried grass. The air itself is quite chill as it's become night now, and the moon is gleaming overhead, and you can feel it call to you faintly. However, it's not a full moon yet, so it's not quite as strong as it would often be. The light from the Skyweaver is every now and then broken by what appears to be the crew on deck going about their various duties. You can see Yondar is on his hands and knees. Looks like he's dutifully scrubbing the deck, making sure it's pristinely clean. Nipsey is not there, unfortunately, to oversee the crew, and Carrington himself is a harsh taskmaster compared to Nipsey, as he stands, his metallic form lording over Yondar and Lysanthier as they go about their duties, as he says no words except Carrington as they go about their duties, dutifully scrubbing the ship to make sure it's pristine for Nipsey when she gets back. Carrington's a real asshole.
He's built to be such. So you said Adelaide got stabbed in the shoulder, correct?
Yes, and went back to the ship, and she was pissed off that Ito tried to probe her mind.
Yeah. I would like to go and collect things because I have that tonics, tinctures, and potions, whatever. Still.
Yeah, tinctures, tonics,
do we have
potions, and
anything?
lotions.
Thank you. Do we have anything on the ship that could be used to like remedy that or like heal her up a little bit?
I already cast Cure on her last week.
She was healed, yes.
Okay.
She suffered a
Damn
wound,
it.
but she was healed.
That was my in.
Yeah, sorry.
Disappointing. That's okay.
I did that, I think, as the combat ended.
That's fine. Alright, I will just go down to her door on the Skyweaver.
You make your way to the second level of the Skyweaver, and find that her door is resolutely closed.
Oh, we're gonna cast Knock.
I will knock on the door.
Leave,
Not with the spell.
Ito, Lord Avendor, whatever you want to be called today.
Oh, don't. He's still on the ground. You don't have to worry about him at the moment.
Well, I'm not seeing anybody right now. Take your problems to my advisors, which are in the capital, so you have a long way to walk.
Well, it's
Or
not so much my
fly, I
problem.
don't care.
Well, I was just, attempting to relate. What Ito did back there was assholish, to say the least. I know what it's like to be probed and prodded, and it's not a good experience.
Well, I've been probed and prodded in good ways as well.
Well, I was just gonna...
Cody, fuck!
I fucking hate Cody so much. I'm gonna turn the cameras off because I can't look at Cody at
I'm
this
so
point.
mad.
I didn't see what Cody did.
He literally just went.
He's like meme leaning in and smiling and eyebrowing.
He's like, I heard that.
He's Tomcat the meme.
Okay. Well, I need a drink for one, and I was kind of hoping that you had booze.
What makes you think I would have booze?
Adelaide, let's cut the shit. we know if anyone on the ship is going to have booze, it's probably you.
Roll a persuasion check.
Is it a persuasion check to speak straight facts?
What is a?
Like, not gonna lie, I'd be willing to burn the Portent dice on that one.
That's a 15.
There's a quiet sigh you can hear from behind the door. You can tell she was pressed right up against it, but you hear the as the door unlocks.
Cool. I'll go in, but not like abruptly or crazy, and just shut the door and lock it again.
The Adelaide's room itself is messy. It looks like she's opened the contents of a couple of her chests and strewn them out across the floor. That is in addition to what appears to be her short bow and arrows that have been tossed on her bed. You can see there's a couple of plates of old food that are sitting on the edge of her bed as well. She's kind of a sloppy person. She really doesn't clean up after herself. Despite the fact that the bed is huge and lush and covered in like really nice pillows, crushed velvet sheets and things like that. She roll an investigation check actually for me.
Oh baby, let's go.
I mean, 16 is still a fucking pretty damn good investigation.
Yep.
You can tell that the contents of these two chests have only recently been strewn about. They sit over everything. The chests still hang open. Usually they at least be closed at some point. This has likely been done within the last hour or so.
Okay.
But she turns and goes to a different... she doesn't go to the chest, she goes to what appears to be a wardrobe, and she reaches into the bottom of it. You can see her finer clothes are held within it, and she pulls out, from the bottom of this wardrobe, she pulls out like a decanter of really nice alcohol. In a like a crystalline decanter. It's probably worth, probably worth at least 100 gold. And she pours the liquid into an equally lavish set of glasses, and she hands one to you and says, "Well, if you want a drink, have a drink." But you can tell she is annoyed and distracted. Even there's no insight check that needs to be rolled for that.
I will raise the glass, and I went to Ito's a prick, and then I'll take a shot.
You're telling me.
Okay, I figured that'd get her attention. After I take the shot, I'll put it down, and then I'll kind of like clean up the room a little bit, like the plates and stuff.
All right. How are you cleaning up? Are you using like prestidigitation or?
Yeah, I was gonna say use prestidigitation, kind of like just put stuff like kind of neatly away, so it's not as like.
All right.
Ramshackle. I just want to. What does she look at me funny when I do that, or just kind of let me do it?
She looks like she looks at you like this is exactly what you're supposed to do.
Well,
I mean, clean up after her.
Yeah,
That's been her whole life.
Well, not making a habit of it. It's just even exchange for the drink.
You can see as you pull away, she goes to the edge of the bed and sort of places a hand on it, and you can see she clutches what appears to be a medallion as she holds it close from being sucked into the chest as you magically begin pulling all her clothes back into her chests.
Can I tell what's on the medallion?
Roll
or is she goes too quick?
Roll a religion check.
Oh gosh. I don't think I have very good. Oh, I do. 12. Not too bad.
It's not a symbol that you recognize. It is what appears to be, it's like a sword, that has what appears to be, a thorny crown that is wrapped around it.
Fair enough. Okay. I'll finish cleaning up, and then I'll go sit beside her on the bed. Does she like recoil or get mad?
No. She says, she takes another drink and says, okay. She says, so we're doing this, right?
If you're implying what I
And the
think you're
implication
implying,
of this is pretty clear.
yeah.
It's been a while for Adelaide, and she is. You can see the way she looks at you is quite expectant, and she is beautiful. Well, she's not beautiful. She's plain looking, but she is powerful.
Well, that might work on Ito, but not for me.
Like I'd waste my time on him. If you don't have anything else to offer me, you can go.
No, it's not here for anything in particular. You just seemed like you're having a shit time like I am.
I've been having a shit time for what? A month now? A month and a half on this fucking ship, doing God knows what for who knows what reason, all because I'm supposed to learn about the plight of the common man, like they matter in the grand scheme of things. It's ridiculous. A waste of my time.
I'll kind of nod my head.
And Lord Avendor thinks that he can be an advisor when so many advisors have come before.
Okay, so I'm under the impression Ito doesn't have kids or anything, right?
He does not have kids.
Okay,
Ito is not mentioned children.
figured not. Alright. Let's put it this way.
Ito has
think-
kids, he just doesn't know about them.
He does have a younger sister.
Okay. I think
Henley has kids.
the problem with...
Does he?
No.
Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up,
He's been blowing loads across the kingdom, so they're around.
Well,
Is someone on a stump nearby?
I think the problem with Ito is he's taking the advisory role a little too seriously. And not that I expect it to happen, but I feel like you need friends and somebody on your, well, level to understand you more than anything, instead of trying to grill, I don't know, leadership into you.
I mean, if he's worried about if I can order people around, I can do that.
Well, it's one thing to order people around and then actually lead them. If you want to talk about colossal fuck-ups in leadership, I've somewhat taken on the role of bossing people around, and it's not easy to do.
What's hard about it? You tell them to do something, they go do it.
Well, have you ever thought of the consequences of telling people to do the wrong thing?
Not as long as there's no consequences to myself. The consequences of them are hardly a matter to me.
I honestly don't think you believe that.
Roll an insight check. She doesn't believe that at all.
Yeah.
You can hear the slight waver of her voice as she puts on this imperious air, but you can tell she understands that they have consequences for others, and you can even tell that she, to an extent, cares about those consequences, but she's walled off.
Well, consequences.
It's a wall that she's had for this entire trip so far. You've seen little holes in it, but it's still there. It takes more than just, a little bit of travel and some stuff with her. You've seen her be a little bit vulnerable, but you don't knock down that wall and it just stays down.
Okay. I will, I guess, kind of lean back on the bed. Well, if we're talking about shitty consequences. What have I done recently? I've killed one of our friends, thinking it was the right thing to do. I advised to send people into the Underdark to get slaughtered. I abandoned my family and my sister. And I'm not sure I'm any better for it. But here we are.
She pours you another drink.
I'll give her another cheers and raise the glass.
And she says, 2 shitty consequences.
Oh yeah. Well, Adelaide, you don't have to tell me shit. I'm not gonna press anything on you. But if there's anything you don't want Ito to hear, or anyone else, I can lend an ear.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh baby. Oh god!
She opens her mouth to say something, but then closes it and says,
Would it be worth to burn the 18 though?
On what?
Ooh, I like that the music stopped when he asked that question. That was...
On getting Adelaide to talk to me?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as everybody else doesn't think it's a waste.
I mean, half the time we end up wasting them by not using them. So I'd say if we were using it for RP purposes on an important NPC, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for
Okay.
it.
I'll use it. It'd be a 24
Alright.
if I use the 18.
She lowers her head, and then she lifts her hand up, and she opens her hand to reveal the medallion that she had clutched. This sword, and the sort of crown that's wrapped, this crown of thorns that's wrapped around it. And as you see it, you actually see it's not a crown of thorns, it's a crown of iron nails. As she says, "Did Ito tell you what happened in that fight?"
No. I don't believe so, correct? Before I actually say no.
I did not have time.
Okay.
I'm
With that
assuming she's talking
persuasion,
about the
with
fight
that
that just
persuasion check,
happened.
I'll say, maybe we should all have a talk. You and me and Ito and you, because you know something of magic. Because I don't.
Well, just
I'm a little bit
Put it out
disappointed
there.
that whenever the Holy Emperor of an entire empire tries to seduce you, Aruna's like, eh.
yeah.
It's a power.
It's
She's
power
so-
play.
Okay. I'll look at her.
I
That's how you make her want
wanted
it.
Ito to walk in on them scissoring.
Ima-
No,
imagine,
she's playing hard to
imagine,
get.
imagine Aruna flipping to the last page of the little black book for
Ito!
Adelaide's digit.
Oh, hey, real quick, can I
Yeah.
do one more thing before?
Yeah.
I'll say it doesn't always have to be in what other people view as important for you to tell me stuff or things going on about you. If it's just to yell about Ito, that's also fine.
Alright, not going for a romantic relationship, a sisterly relationship.
It's like I left my fucking sister.
She nods her head.
Just like one of my.
She is younger than you, so.
Mm-hmm.
She nods her head and says, keep that in mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause
will-
right
Actually,
here.
that's a point of note, real quick. I can't ever remember how old Aruna actually is.
She's like 80 or something, right?
But like, what does that translate to?
You
That's-
wanna like?
Aren't you like low 20s?
I'm gonna go pee, so I'll let you
Okay.
think about what that is.